Hello, everybody. It's 4:20, and it's time to have a role play practice party. All right, so let's have a role play practice party. Looking forward to it. I've got some things I want to share in that direction today, and in particular, what I'm referring to is this. It is the 7 conversation traps when talking to homeowners. If you're in the real estate business like I am, there's 7 conversation traps. You can see I'm down there by that rat trap there. Just trying to warn you, hey, don't go for that cheese. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait because it's not going to work out good for you. So anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about the 7 conversation traps that I have found in my personal business and in my personal life. I've found that these seven areas of the conversation. Now, when I'm talking about 7 areas of the conversation, I'm referring to the 7 areas where when I am on the phone with a prospect and I'm about to do this part of the conversation, I get like kind of nervous about it. Okay. You know what I mean? Get a little nervous, little butterflies down here. Yeah, I get a little nervous. So those are the traps, in my opinion, because those feelings will rob you of doing what you should do and saying what you should say and staying on track with the conversation. And so those are the traps that I'm referring to. And there's 7 areas like that in the guts conversation, which you guys are familiar with the guts conversation. The guts conversation, here's my rendering of it. Of course, Uncle Claude Diamond, he's the boss. He invented the system. I just put it on this 1-page format here just as a cheat sheet for myself, to be frank. Okay, to be frank, man, it's been a while since I said that.
Hey, Justin, are you recording?
I am live on YouTube, so we should be able to catch it. Hey, I said to be frank. Do you guys know who Frank is?
Yeah.
This is Frank. Okay. This is Frank. I don't like Frank. Frank's that negative guy. Okay. So I don't like to use the words to be frank, because Frank's my roommate and he's very negative. Okay. If you follow my content on YouTube, then you're probably familiar with what I'm talking about there. But nevertheless, the guts conversation is the agenda, the qualification, and the closing, right? Inside this conversation, there are 7 areas. And I know that seems like a lot. It's like, well, it sounds like the whole conversation. It's not, trust me. But there are 7 areas inside this conversation map that I feel like are kind of traps for me. I get stuck. Traps are where you get stuck. And I've gotten stuck in 7 places. I want to talk about those 7 places. And let's role play our way through those. Does that sound like something we could do today, everybody? Before we do that, though, let's back up and, hey, that was like my monologue on the Late Show. You know what I mean? You know how on the Late Show they always have the guy come out and he does like the first 5 minutes of just talking. I think that's while you're getting your popcorn and your favorite pillow and maybe what do they call it? A Snuggie? That backwards robe thing or whatever it is that people are wearing nowadays, maybe while you're getting that on. So that was my introduction monologue here today. Let's slow down for a minute before we jump into that 7 conversation traps role play. And let's just talk about you. How are you guys today? How's Helen and Joseph?
Doing good. Thank you.
Doing good.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Good. It's good to
Good.
see you. It's good to see Jessica here. It's good to see David.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, I got your message. I've been swamped busy and it slipped my mind.
Okay.
But I do have an answer for you. You're looking for a JV agreement?
Just something to put together. I was watching your video and you said don't become a business with the other person. Just link your business contractually
Right.
for a deal.
Yeah. Real quick, the whole philosophy that I have in business and basically in life is altogether separate. Okay. You and I can be partners on something. We can partner up to accomplish a certain task or project. But as far as me having partners, like partners, I don't really do it. And the reason why is because 99% of all partnerships fail eventually, maybe 100%, I don't know, like they just don't work out. So it's important that if you do want to get into partnerships with people, that you just maintain some sense of your own entity and you're not losing yourself in the partnership, so that if the partnership dissolves or if that person goes another direction, you don't lose everything and you're just like squat on life right now. Okay, that's just some country boy advice. That's all it is, man. But I do have a JV agreement if you need one.
Okay.
Because I do believe
Helen and
no one-
Joseph are living proof that a partnership can work.
Oh, well, yeah.
You give us all faith and hope.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, so I'll say, like 90, let's say 98% of them don't work.
No.
Let's say 99.1.
Why do everybody's like, man, he's so negative. It's like, he really doesn't like partnerships. Wow. Yeah. Well, I've seen them not work out, man. That's all, I've just seen them not work out. And it's funny when you get into a partnership with people, and we don't have to get into this, but like sometimes the money changes them.
Mhm.
Or sometimes the lack of money changes them, or changes not them, but maybe how they see themselves in this deal. And, so I'm just saying, maintain your sense of sovereignty in this process. That's only my,
That's
My
very
advice.
sage. Very sage advice.
I don't know. It's just, I just got, I've been the short end of the stick a time or two, and maybe other people would say that about me even. I mean, I don't know. I hope not, but partnerships, I can't look back on a lot of them and say, man, hey, we're still even friends. Like it's crazy how things happen in business. So, just be careful and make sure that you protect yourselves and all that. That's all my best advice is. But, hey, it's good to see Max and Ben and Alex had his camera on there for a second, and there's Anthony in the room. You guys, how are you? You guys doing good?
Yeah, good.
Good. Everybody's happy. Everybody's feeling good. Enjoying Wednesday.
Mhm.
Wednesday, 420.
Uh-oh.
Well, did I catch you? Right
Up
before
here in Northern California.
right before the camera went on? Huh? Is that
What are,
what was
what are you
happening?
gonna What are you gonna be doing at 420 today?
All day, right? Is that what you mean?
Well, 420 on 420.
Yeah, it's 420 somewhere.
I don't know if everybody in the room knows what that means.
That's not true though, right? It's not true.
I don't know if this helps or if anyone does this, but cold showers. I just earlier got out of the cold shower, and that helped me just kind of wake up and get in the mood, get ready for the call.
Yeah.
Just a quick cold shower, that does it for me.
Oh, that's great. It's great advice. Yeah, good cold shower.
Got to get him a girlfriend.
Ooh, that's tough though. It's hard to do. You know, when I'm in the shower and I'm thinking, you know, hey, everybody says take a cold shower. At least do the last 30 seconds of your shower cold.
Yeah,
Like
just-
that's what they say, right? That's what I've heard. I'm like, you know, it's hard. It's hard to reach down there and turn that knob off on that hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's hard. It's like, oh, I don't want to. I'll just turn it a little bit. Ooh, wait a minute, turn it back up, turn it back up.
I'll do it tomorrow. Next
Oh
time.
yeah.
Let me know how it goes when you try it.
I do that. I'll do that but I'll just stick my head in it. I won't go.
Oh yeah.
I won't commit completely.
I put my little pinky toe in there.
It sort of is that thing, you know, you commit to it. So get your mind in that kind of
Yeah.
mode, right? Of like,
Yeah.
all right, let's do this. And yeah, it's just powers me up. Just quick
Yeah.
one, quick shower.
That's great. That's great advice, Max. Thanks for that, man.
Thanks.
Ben, how are you doing?
I'm good. I was thinking about what you were saying about partnerships.
Yeah.
I agree. I had an experience when what we called it was a collaborative effort.
Oh,
And that was good because we went in with a different mindset that it was a collaborative thing. We had a project, we had objectives, and then it was goodbye and good night. And everybody, and we parted as friends. You know, I don't think there's any one of us who wouldn't work together again.
absolutely.
Changed everything.
Yeah. There's something powerful about all together but separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very powerful. There's that sense of personal responsibility too, that, hey, you know, if I let the group down or if I let my partner down, you know, I'm out, but he's still going to go on,
Mhm.
you know? And anyway, all right. I appreciate you saying that, man. Thank you for backing me up, because I was taking some heat in the room about that policy a little bit, because
Oh,
I
don't get
said
me started.
99% of all all partnerships. Now that's probably, yes, you're probably right. I cannot stereotype all partnerships like that, but
Joseph, correct you. 99.9.
99.9. Yeah. Well, you know, eventually, you know, something happens. Somebody, you know. All right. Well, you guys are probably like, man, I think he might have a little PTSD over some partner stuff in his past. Yeah, I probably do. All right. Well, let's role play. Let's practice. It's good to see everybody here. Again, welcome everybody. If you're watching out there, because we are live today, we're just having fun. If you're watching out there, thanks for watching. We're just having fun learning how to be better salespeople. And we're using the gut sales system that's invented by Claude Diamond. He's my mentor. Everybody here in the room, I guess, could say the same thing. And the agenda, the qualification stage, and then the closing stage are the three staircase steps. I know they're kind of a flat staircase here in this case, but it's a staircase. You start at the bottom, the agenda, the qualification, then the closing. And inside here, I have found there are 7 different places that I get stuck. I get stuck in these 7 locations. And when I say stuck, I mean that I get those butterflies and I get anxious about stuff. Are you guys able to relate at all about those butterflies and the sense of dread, a little sense of dread in the conversation, that you're approaching this part of the conversation and you're going to have to say some of this? Nobody?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah, like everybody, I think, right? Yeah, the beginning. Yeah, like the very beginning, like the first 6 seconds, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah. For sure.
that might be it. Yeah. So that's a great point. Maybe your 7 traps are a little different. Places where you get stuck might be a little different than the places that I get stuck. But nevertheless, we all do kind of have that experience. So we all are alike in that way. There's nothing unique about getting stuck somewhere along this process. And I do use cheat sheets quite a bit, everybody. Okay. I've got cheat sheets. So if you get stuck at the very beginning, let's do a cheat sheet. make a little cheat sheet, give yourself a few options of ways to go about things that are just reminders, that's all, just reminders, If I were to be completely transparent and I could show, I flip my camera around and I could show you that right underneath my camera, right above my computer, right next to my phone right here, I have my 19 favorite questions. You guys have heard me talk about that here. I've got that right here. So anytime I need a reminder, oh yeah, hey, well, Mr. Prospect, if we went ahead with this, what would be the worst thing that could happen? Okay, I'm flushing out a huge objection with that. And maybe I need to do that. Okay. But I need a reminder. So I'll create a little cheat sheet like that. But so let's practice since somebody said that, let's practice that trap. And then I'll share my 7. What's a good way to circumvent that opening trap where we get stuck just right at the very beginning of the call with the agenda? And if you remember, the agenda is basically, let me just put it back on the screen and we'll look at it.
Hey, Justin, can you post that sheet in the Skype room?
Yeah, I sure will. Yeah, absolutely. The agenda is the introduction or the roadmap, getting permission to ask questions, and giving permission to say no. Okay. Or another way to say this, we hear Coach Claude say it, is you can fire me. Have you ever heard a salesman tell their prospect, hey, it's okay if you want to tell me no, you can fire me? Well, that's very unique about the gut sales system. But that's what this means here. So this is the agenda, getting stuck right here. Does anybody else relate that they get stuck right there in that very opening? Like this is the first 10, 15 seconds. Anybody? Okay. Yeah, sure. A few people.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's role play the agenda. All right. I'll be the prospect. Okay. Who wants to be the caller? And you're going to open a conversation with me. I'm going to answer the phone. Maybe I'm a warm lead. Okay. But I'm going to answer the phone and you're going to start talking to me and using the agenda. How can we make sure we don't get stuck here anymore? Okay. Who wants to role play? Come on. All right.
I can start.
Okay, Alex, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. What's the topic of conversation? What are you working with today? Are you a real estate agent or
I'm a real
investor?
estate agent. I'm an agent. I'm calling on a for FISBO.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, ring, ring. Hello.
Hello, I'm calling to see if this house is still for sale. I have this number here. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's still for sale.
Yeah, I've got a house that I'd like to sell. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great.
Are you interested in buying one?
I am actually interested in seeing what I can do for you. Do you mind if I just ask you a few questions? You could ask me a few questions, and if there's something that we can work out, maybe that's good for you, then we can move on. If not, it'd be okay to say no. Do you mind continuing?
Okay, great. All right, time out. That he completed the agenda. Okay. And guys, he did it in his own tone of voice, in his own meter, okay, his own rhythm, in other words. Right? Nothing wrong with that. You sound like a real person. Okay, that's fine. So did he successfully navigate that? And can we improve upon that? Okay.
I have one comment because he, in his mind, he struggled a little on the verbiage. It completely sounded natural and didn't sound like he was reading a script.
Totally. That's exactly the point. Yeah.
That little bit of struggle and just let me get my words together in my head means I'm not reading this. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sometimes you feel like you're messing up and you're really critical on yourself. And I'm not talking directly to Alex here. I mean, all of us here, we get really critical on ourselves, but in reality, what David is saying is 100% accurate, is that to the other person, it just sounds like a normal person with the ahs and the ums and the, that stuff. Okay. That's all kind of things that natural people do when they're on a conversation with a stranger.
Speaking off the cuff.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it's kind of refreshing in a sense that the person's not reading a script to me. Right. That's what I'm thinking, at least. So, great. Yeah. So good in those respects. Absolutely. I have one critique I would add in there. I'm very forthcoming with who I am, and I'm very proud of what I do. So right off the bat, I'm like, hey, yeah, this is Justin. I'm a real estate agent. If I were, I'm not. Okay. But if I were, I think I would come right out with that. Hey, I'm Justin. I'm a real estate investor. That's what I tell people. Hey, I'm a landlord investor. Okay. I want that right off the bat, because that might be an objection for them. You know, it could be an objection for them. You're one of those realtors.
Don't you want to ask who you're speaking with and get their name so you can develop that rapport?
Yeah. Yeah. And if that's a big issue, don't you want to know about it now? Right. Hey,
Sure.
My name's Alex. I'm a real estate agent, and I was calling. I saw your property was for sale by owner, and I was just wondering if I could ask you a few questions about it. You could ask me a few, and if it's not a good fit, fire me right now, today. Okay. Well, if he says, oh, you're a real estate agent. Oh, no, I'm not interested in talking to a real estate agent. That's why it's for sale by owner. Okay. Are you prepared with backup questions? Like, why do you feel that way? Why is that such an important topic for you, that you do this for yourself? Okay. If there were a way I could make this work for you, is there anything that you would work with me on, or is this over? Okay. So, I mean, I'd like to get all that out right in front. If it's me, I like to end up saying things like this. Well, you know, I'm just a landlord investor guy. I'm not a big company or corporation or anything. I mean, you're not going to hold that against me, are you? Okay. I put it back on them like that. Like, hey, you're not going to be an a-hole, are you? You know what I mean? Kind of twist it on them a little bit like that. Turn it on. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, here's another one that's really, really working really well. Hey, you know, I've tried to call you a few times, and you texted me, and then you didn't answer the phone and all that. I'm just kind of concerned that you're not a scam, are you? Put them back on their heels.
That's pretty gutsy.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I have a question. Is there anything wrong? I mean, even if he is a realtor, is there anything wrong with him wanting to ask a few questions about the property? Because I also invest in real estate. I might be interested in buying this property as well. So
yeah. Well, I think there's nothing wrong with it, but I think how people do it is wrong. And here's how I do it and why I say that. Hey, Mr. Homeowner, I'm Justin. I'm a landlord investor. I saw your property on Zillow. I wanted to call, ask a few questions about it. I was interested in making an offer today. Okay. I usually drop that in there. And then I'll say, Mr. Homeowner, what about the house and your situation should I understand? Because I want to include all the things that are important to you in our agreement today. Boom. I'm right into closing them right off the bat. Okay. Tell me what's important to you so I can put it on the paperwork. Okay. I'm just saying that works for me, guys. It works like a charm. All right. So try it. Try it. Okay. Get right into it. And if you're in a different industry, just replace house with car or gold coins or bullion or whatever it is. Okay. Mr. Coin buyer, what's important to you that I should understand so that I can put it in our agreement today? Oh, that does several things. all in one big that's a power statement in my opinion. Okay. I know that sounds corny and flaky and cliche to say it's a power statement, but I swear I use it a lot. Okay. So try it out and see what you think.
It's a good one.
Those are all ways to navigate the agenda, excuse me, and segue into that qualification stage, which is where that's where my first trap is, everybody. Okay. So I think Ben said the agenda. Well, mine is at the very end. My first of the 7, okay, is right there at the end of the agenda when I know I have to start asking the why question. And because it's just so entirely uncomfortable for me to just come right out and say, Mr. Prospect, why are you looking to sell your property? Or Mr. Prospect, why are you calling me today? Or why are you, I don't know why. That's just an uncomfortable question for me. I don't know. It always has been. So I've spent time thinking about ways I can get through this trap without getting stuck. And that was one of the ways that I came up with was, Mr. Homeowner, what about the property and what about your situation should I understand? Because the things that are important to you, I want to know and understand them so I can include them in our agreement today. I'm assuming we're going to do business, right? Until you tell me we're not. And I don't know. It helps me punch right through into that why. Okay. So now really what I'm asking is why are you selling? What things are important? What about the house and what about your situation should I understand? I'm asking why, but I'm using what. It's a little easier for me. Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? So anyway, that's kind of how I came up with that particular question. Was I just got stuck right there with that straight why question. Like, hey, why are you selling? I even was doing it like this for a while. Mr. Homeowner, how long have you lived in the property and why are you selling it now? Okay, that was a little easier for me, but I like what I'm doing now even better. Mr. Homeowner, what about the property and your situation should I understand? All right. Anyway, I beat that to death, didn't I, everybody? All right.
You just
Love
putting the
you.
cards on the table essentially from the get-go is what
Yeah.
I'm getting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I 100% concur. Yes.
Mhm.
Let's get it out there. What's important to you? What needs to go on the document in order for us to do business today? Tell me now, and I'll go make it happen for you if I can. See, that's the sense of it that I want them to pick up. If I can make it happen for you, I will. But I need you to tell me what is the bottom line. Are we going to do business, and what does that mean today? What's that look like to you? What's important to you? Okay. I need to put all these things that are important to you in my offer. What else do I need to know to understand better? You got it? You got it? All right. And this, you can translate this into any industry. All right. But it's basically just my way of asking that why question. Trying to
It's like
get
you're using empathy to ask that question as well
Oh yeah.
by asking
Yeah.
it that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I'm concerned about what's important to them, right? Which is important because remember, Uncle Claude teaches us that we need to bond. You see right here under this why I typed here, don't forget to bond, right? So it's important for us to bond, right? So empathy is important here. Listening, power listening, like really listening, like what the worst thing you can do is ask a question like that. Hey, why is this topic so important to you? Or I'd like to put all these things that are important to you in my offer. And then like when they start talking, you just drift off mentally, Has anybody done that? Like I totally have. Oh yeah. And then like I come back to it and I'm like, well, I have no idea what they just said, but I'm gonna have to pick up the conversation somehow. No. Hey, that's the hard life of a salesperson, you know, but what would have to change for this to work for you, Mr. Homeowner? And then he starts telling you, and then you're like, you drift off. I've done it. I've done it more than a few times. Yeah.
Claude will make Claude will make a statement. Claude will make a statement like, you know, it sounds like a really nice house. How come it hasn't sold yet?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Would you like? And then if he's doing
Yeah.
a Zoom call, would you like to sell it today?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking
Great
for a
way.
house in that. I'm looking for a house in that area.
Yeah. Yeah. See, lots of wonderful, wonderful ways to avoid that trap. That trap of how do I get through this agenda into that question? That's the tough one. Yeah, that is kind of tough. It is. I'll give it to you that way. Yeah, it's kind of tough. Yeah. But there's lots of really smart ways to answer that question or to ask that question really. And so Uncle Claude, he's the master of it, you know. He's the godfather of the questions. And I love questions.
10th degree black belt in
Yeah.
gut sales.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know if they even have belts at his level, you know. Like, you know, like another area that we get stuck in. Does anybody else have a pitfall or a trap they get stuck in this conversation that they want to work through right now? Anything? I'll share some more of my 7. But anybody else have another place where you're like, hey, every time I'm in this conversation, I get sidetracked right here, or I get stuck right here. They trap
The
me
money
right
question.
here.
The money question is always the tough one.
Money question. Yeah. Why is the money question so hard? Why is it a trap we get stuck in? Because that's on my list too. Excuse me. Why is that on our list? Why is it so hard to talk about money?
Trust. If you don't have an existing relationship, I don't know you. We're talking about a lot of money.
Prospects lie.
Well, I think honestly, if we were to be honest, most of us, maybe not anyone in this room, okay, but there are a lot of people out here, and I even relate a little bit. Hey, we're afraid to talk about the money because we need this sale really damn bad. And the worst thing we want to hear is, don't have the money, ain't spending that kind of money. That's too much money. Nah, I'd never spend that kind of money. That's the last thing we want to hear. So we put it off and we hope that we wine them and dine them, and we'll get up on the table and we'll dance and we'll, you know, seduce them a little while, and then they don't have any money. Okay. That's just been my experience. Okay. Happened to me a lot. I've been a salesman a long time, and I can tell you, I've pitched a lot of deals where I went into it and I seduced them. And at the very end, I figured out, hey, they love me. They like me. They love me. They want what I have. They need what I have even. They just ain't got no money.
And neither do you after you've spent money on whining and dining.
And now I'm 45 minutes further into my life with no money. The sun's going down. I got to go home. Busted for the day. Yeah.
And tell your wife.
Been there. Yeah, been there. Yep. Been there. I think we just have to get gutsy and just ask about the money right away. Hey, what you're wanting to do is going to cost some money. How much are you working with? How much do you want to invest? How much are you looking to spend? How much are you looking to make? What are you looking to sell this for? What is important to you in the money category, Mr. Homeowner?
How much of a budget have you set aside for this?
If you're me in the lease options business, I'll ask this question right off the bat. How much money monthly do you need in rent before we buy? Wait a minute. What do you mean? Well, how much money do you need in rent before we buy? Well, I'm not renting it. I'm just looking to sell. I know we're looking to buy. But how much would it be monthly if we were to rent it for a little while before we buy? Oh, well, I never thought about that. Okay. All right. Just it's kind of important. Just break into the money, right? Just talk about the money. Money is what motivates everybody, right? So we gotta talk about the money. So how can we ask the money question? How can we get through this trap of talking about money? Because we get stuck here. That's what everybody's kind of saying. Well, we get stuck when it comes to the money question because, man, it's just so uncomfortable. Okay, well, how can we break through this uncomfortableness and ask the money question in the first 3 minutes of the conversation? Maybe the first minute and a half. First 2 minutes of the conversation.
Maybe talk
So
about who the
straight
decision
up.
buyers, who the decision buyers are, and then transition into just the money aspect of it. I don't.
Yeah. Well, let's. Anybody got a role play like that? Who spoke up? Also, that was good, Max. Who else spoke up? Was it Jessica?
Yes,
Yeah. What did you say?
I just said, just ask straight up, don't
Yeah.
mince your words, just be
Yeah.
very open and
Yeah.
transparent and say, you're gonna need a certain amount of money to do this, X amount of dollars. And is that are you guys in that position right now? Is that comfortable? Is it doable? And get that off the table, like you say, otherwise it's a lot of time wasted.
Hey, Justin, if you don't mind, can I ask you a question about what type of budget you have set aside for this? If you don't mind me talking about the money up front.
Yeah. Well, Dave, what you're wanting to accomplish is going to cost some money. You're probably not looking to spend this kind of money, though, are you?
How much are we talking about
100,000.
up front?
We're talking about probably with this interest rate, probably 750 a month. Is that something you're comfortable with, or do I need to look for somebody else? What's wrong with talking like that?
Nothing.
Mhm.
Right.
I mean, that's what real estate is. It's about numbers and it's about terms.
Yeah. Hey, this is also, we're going to need a $7,500 down payment. Is that going to be something that's comfortable with you or probably not?
For San Diego, let's write it up right now.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was in San Diego. I was thinking about San Luan, New Mexico. Well, whatever that is. No. So yeah, and we got to ask that money question. So those are all good ways of asking the money question. What's some other good ways we can ask this money question, and maybe in your industry, in your business, in your profession?
Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
I think we're making some headway here in the conversation. What business are you in, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I'm in the real estate and consulting business. Businesses.
You definitely have a business head, a business mind. I appreciate that.
Thank you. You can stroke me all you want. I'm a prospect. You can stroke me. Yeah.
So with that being said, you understand that a profit's got to be made. We've all got to benefit financially. So let's talk about money for a minute.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about? No. How much you have, right?
Right.
How much you have?
Mhm.
If you're in the lease purchase business, lease options business, when it comes to tenant buyers, you need to ask this like immediately. Hey, is this a rent to own deal? I mean, this is a rent to own deal. You're not just looking to rent, are you? Okay, great. Well, hey, the rent to own program requires a reasonable down payment. How much money are you working with?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how much money are you expecting? A lot. How much? We might be flexible for the right people. How much do you have? Okay, I want them to say, right? If I can get them to say. If not, I'll just name some high price because I don't want to cheat myself.
No, that sounds fair, Justin. But when I'm looking at investing in property, I'm either looking for price or terms. So what numbers are you talking about here?
Hmm. Yeah, well, that's you're talking to a homeowner there. Yeah, with a role play with a terms deal. Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. So asking about money, Ben, that was a good role play you gave us. What's who else has a role play? Anybody in a different industry? Anybody here in the car industry? Anybody in the car business? Anybody in the electronics or kind of like technology industries? Anybody sales in that industries? All right, just everybody in here is in real estate for crying out loud. Okay, all right. Well, cool. All right. Any other ways of asking for about the money? What if we're a realtor? What are we gonna, hey, what kind of money questions are we gonna need to ask for that?
What type of,
Pre-qualification letter.
how much,
Yeah,
what commission, what percentage do you charge for your commission?
Or what? How much do you still own your house? Is it a little? Would you say medium, large?
Good question. If you want to ask about the mortgage, that's a great point. Because sometimes in the lease purchase business, we have to ask about the mortgage too. Yeah. Like I said, what's the size of the mortgage you have, Mr. Homer? It's a great introduction.
Well,
question.
that's none
is
of
it
your
kind of a
business.
big one, big, medium, small?
That's none of your business. I don't know you.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know, sir. Have I offended you in some way? I'm not sure. Yeah. All right. So if people get mad at me, I don't want to do business with them. Do you? You know what I mean? So I don't want to, like, it's just not fun.
And
So go ahead, Ben.
That's part of it is getting to the money so we can, as we say in Manhattan, F it next.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Are you a
Yeah.
legitimate player? Are you,
Yeah.
Are you a business person? Are you who you say you are, and do you do what you say you do? Let's get to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not here to be friends. We're not here to be therapists. We're here to talk about a transaction.
Right. So I agree. And I think the point is that if you're going to spend time talking to a person, don't you want to spend time talking? Like, remember my policy? I shared my policy last time I was here with you, like a couple of weeks ago, was try to spend 80% of my time talking to what I call A leads, A quality, right? These are people who have the money, right? B leads may not have the money today, but they might come up with it soon. C leads, I'm throwing in the garbage because I know I'll never do the deal with. I need to spend most of my time talking to A leads. So if I'm talking to people and going into a full presentation and I'm showing them all my wonderful functions and features and benefits and everything's great, and then I find out at the end that this person doesn't even have a checking account. It's happened. It's happened to me. It's happened to me. I went to a lady's house, drove across town, got out of the car, walked in, friendly lady. She was like, hey, would you be interested in making an offer today on this property? I was like, sure, I will let you know today. But I'm just going to take a look around at the repairs that might need to be made. After I looked around, I visited with her in the living room. She said, so you say we're going to close in when? I said, we can close in 10 days. Okay. Is that when I get the money? I said, yep, that's when you get the money. She said, so are you just going to give it to me like in a briefcase or a suitcase? I said, no. I said, no, we close at the title company. Well, what's that? I said, well, it's a third party business that helps make sure everybody gets what they're supposed to get and no one gets shorted. Okay. And she said, okay, so are they going to pay me? I said, yeah, they'll pay you. We'll pay them. They'll pay you the right amount. Okay. Okay, great. So are they going to give me money in a suitcase? This suitcase thing was important. I don't know, man. I've never seen anything like it before. I was looking at her like a cow looking at a new gate. I was like, I've never seen this before. And this is wildly entertaining. I said, ma'am, no, they'll write you a check and you can put the check in your bank or they'll just wire it right into your account. I don't have a bank account. I said, oh my gosh. I'm done. I said, you know what, miss? I said, I appreciate you. Thank you. Your home is lovely. You're a wonderful person. I wish you the best of luck. I turned around and left. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that? See, I did all of this work, left my house across town. I'm in some stranger's living room, which is all weird, always. Okay. And now I find out I can't do business with this person because they don't even own a bank account. Has that ever happened to anyone else? I'll tell you, it's happened to me a few times. Once in the real estate business, but it's happened to me several times when I was in the insurance sales business. Okay. So this principle applies across all industries. If we're not finding out about money, now I'm not suggesting you ask everybody, hey, do you have a bank account? Okay, because that's pretty absurd almost nowadays for people to not have a bank account of some kind. But nevertheless, you got to ask about the money. Otherwise, you'll spend all this time with people you can't close, right?
So do you ask for now if they have a banking account?
No, I don't. So did I learn my lesson? I'm not sure. Probably not. But I did sort of learn a lesson there. It's just one of those things. I'm like, most people have a bank account, but I got unlucky that day. But I think that's an extreme tale that highlights the importance of how you'll spend all this time and effort on something where there's no chance of making money if you just are afraid to ask that money question. So we got to ask that money question. Gotta. And I think we're desperate sometimes. We don't want to ask it. Does anybody else have another way to ask that money question? Anything else pop in your minds? All right. Well, let's move on to another one. Where does anybody else get stuck? I'll give you another one of mine if you want. I'll give you another one of mine if you want. Nobody else has one?
Commitment.
You get stuck on the commitment. You know what I find is that people don't even understand what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we've heard it described a few ways. Number one is we've heard it described, hey, you get a commitment from them. Hey, who's the decision maker? Okay, the decision maker is actually you and your wife. Okay, well, can we get on a 3-way call with her, or is she available to speak to now? I'd like to answer any questions she may have. Whatever. That's also part of that is kind of part of the commitment. Can he make a commitment? Can they make a commitment? Yeah. Right. But I think it's more than that. Does anybody know what I mean? And do you want to speak on that?
Yeah, they want to keep the door open to bail out.
Right. So you got to find out, can they make a commitment? Are you talking to the decision maker? So on and so forth. But I think it's even more rich than that, really, when we get down to what the real commitment means. And I think sometimes just knowing what it means is liberty. Okay. Freedom. So does anybody else have any thoughts on what getting a commitment means? Getting a commitment from your prospect. Okay. I'll give you an example from the insurance industry, and then we'll move into real estate. Since we're all real estate, I don't want to give it away. Okay. In the insurance industry, this was the question. All right. If I can show you, after I've asked them a bunch of questions about what they want and what they need, Mr. Insurance prospect, if I can show you a policy that meets all of these needs that you just showed me, and if I can make it fit your budget, Are we going to do business today? Or is there any reason why we won't do business today? Okay. This is before I get the brochure out and start showing them. I'm not doing a presentation until I know you're going to buy one. Right? Here's what it looks like in the car business. Right? Mr. Prospect, if I can show you the car that you need, that you describe, that you like, that you want, and I can put it into an affordable price range for you monthly, is there any reason why we wouldn't sell you a car today and you drive off in it? Okay. I'm looking for a commitment that he's going to buy before I start showing cars. Right? Because I could show cars to people all day long and drive around all day long and they never buy a car. Same way with realtors. You could drive around all day long with buyers and they'll never buy because you're just, well, one right after another. Well, I liked a little something about this one, didn't like that about it. No, well, I like this about this one, but not that. And all day long for weeks after week after week. Yep. But don't run your business that way. I don't recommend it. I'm just saying, get a commitment. So this commitment is even bigger than just, can they make a commitment? Are you talking to the decision maker? Well, sure, you should know that, but it's even bigger than that, right? It's, are you going to make a commitment that if I can offer you a solution that fits your needs and desires, your wants and your needs? If I offer you a solution, what happens then? Well, I guess we'll do the deal. Oh, what? You guys see Claude do that?
Yep.
Well, if I can put this package together the way you described it, and I can make it affordable for you, what happens next? Well, I guess we have a deal. What? He's getting a commitment before he gets into the details. Okay. Very important. Very important. I get stuck here too. And here's what getting stuck here looks like. You didn't get a commitment, but you started pitching anyway. You started presenting anyway. That's a no-no in Guts land, right? You don't want to start pitching until you get a commitment that if you do pitch a solution, they'll buy it. Wouldn't it be so nice if you never pitched to another person ever again unless you knew they was going to buy?
Yeah.
You know, when you hear these master salespeople say, my closing ratio is 96%, whatever the hell it is, it seems absurd. And we're like, what? Yes, when you use my sales system, you'll close 92 to 98% of every prospect that you sit with. Okay, they'll pitch you some stuff like that. Well, you know, it's probably not very far from being accurate, because they've learned that I don't really pitch until I get a commitment that you'll buy. So they don't even count the ones where they don't pitch in the ratio. All right. You follow me?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So don't pitch until you get a commitment. What good would it do you to pitch me if I can't buy, I don't want to buy, I'm not gonna buy?
Waste of time.
You're just entertaining me. Yeah. Yeah. So in the vacuum cleaner sales business, door to door, the question was this: Miss Homeowner, all this grimy, dirty, gooky, gunky stuff I just pulled out of your couch, if I could make a machine a part of your life that'll just make cleaning that out of your life just easy, and I can make it fit your monthly budget, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to have a clean house? I want a commitment. I want a commitment. If I show this, if I pull this damn vacuum cleaner out of this box and put it together for you, if it fits the solution for you, we're going to do business. Otherwise, I ain't pulling this out of the box. That's a lot of work. All right. So modify it for your businesses. If you're out there and you're in a different business, you're in a different line of work. Get the commitment. All right. Is there any other place that, is there any other place that we have these traps? Where do we get stuck? The 7 traps that I have. I didn't really tell you what they were because we kind of got distracted on some other stuff. And that's cool too. But where else do we get stuck? Where do you get stuck? Getting the commitment was one. Is there any other? I'll tell you one of mine. All right. Here's one of mine. It's right after getting the commitment. Okay. Right after I pass this commitment line right here, I'm supposed to be able to judge them on a motivation level of 1 to 10, 10 being highly motivated, 1 being not motivated at all. Right? Here's where I get stuck. I know this person is probably like a 3 or 4 maybe, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of throw this out there and see if they maybe take the bait anyway. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Okay. This person, I've determined after the agenda and the qualification stage, I've determined this person is like a 4. Well, I'm going to go ahead. You know, they really can't make a commitment today. Well, let me go ahead and show them the brochure. Yeah, I'll go ahead and show them the brochure. Well, let me go ahead and, you know, this is how it would work. You know, why don't you tell your wife, and if she's interested, y'all get back with me. All right. Is anybody guilty of that kind of stuff? I'm totally guilty of it, guys. Totally guilty of it. Okay. The point is if they're not on the motivation scale at like a 6 or 7 or 8 or a 9 or a 10 or something, if they're down in the gutter on that, don't pitch. Why are we pitching? Why are we talking to them about what a lease option looks like, or how we could make them more money, or how, hey, by the way, there's no closing costs. I'll pick up the close and there's no realtor's fees, or, hey, by the way, I'll drop my commissions, or no, that's not what a gut salesman does. And that's not what a gut salesperson does. If that person is a 1 through a 5, what are we supposed to do? Somebody help me out, please.
Call later in few weeks.
Maybe you want to follow up with them. What is another option? That would be a B lead. I would call that a B lead. We would follow up with that. What would we do with a C lead?
Fire.
That's it out.
Yeah, bye-bye. Right. Goodbye. I don't want to talk to you again, right? So I'm not going to do any deals with you, and you're a waste of my time. I'd rather go spend time with the people I love.
I wish I'd known you when I was dating, Justin. Could have taught me about dating.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Teach me how to get rid of the riffraff a lot faster.
Well,
a long time, but I think I finally got a good one.
yeah, good. That's what I heard. Yeah, you're getting married soon, huh?
Yeah, yes.
When is that? When's that happening?
October 1st.
Oh, wow. You got a lot of prepping to do then, huh?
Yes, definitely.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they say that's like one of the most stressful things you can do is get married.
It might be.
I don't mean it like that. 99% of all partnerships fail. One of the most stressful things you can do is get married. Like, this guy is like certifiably negative. What's wrong with him? Like, sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Congratulations. That's amazing. Good. Yeah, I get stuck there pitching to people that I shouldn't. You know, spending time with people I shouldn't, instead of spending time with the people I love, right? Which is, which is important. Did we all feel that way? Would we all would you rather talk to this stranger that ain't got no money and ain't gonna buy nothing, and he's like a 3 on the motivation scale, but you know, you're gonna spend an extra 15 minutes talking to him? or you could go play catch with little Jimmy, or you know. All right. Anywhere else we get stuck? Anybody? Anybody else? Nobody else? Everybody? Everybody all at once. I get stuck. I get stuck. Where do we get stuck? Anybody? Last chance. Going once. Going twice. We got 2 minutes left. All right. Nobody, huh? Okay. All right. So what happens next, everybody? We're going to wrap up here. And then what happens next? What do you do next? Are you going to go get stuck? Are you nervous about anything conversation wise? Okay. Can you get through the whole conversation? You got some cue cards, some objection cards, maybe some cheat sheets, you know, some little reminder questions. Get those filled out. Put those, hang those up here. Like I got mine hanging up right here. You guys are probably like, wow, man, he's pretty good at some of these questions. Now they're hanging right here. Right here.
Don't forget to send it to us.
Do what?
Yeah, don't forget to send it.
I'll send you guys all this stuff. All right. Yeah, I'll put it in the Skype room. Okay. Anybody with anything before we go? Before we call it off? Is that it?
How about one good example of how to fire someone politely, tactfully?
I don't know about politely. How do you fire somebody politely? Who wants to tackle this one?
Grace, with grace.
Oh, now we even have to do it with grace.
With grace.
Holy cow. This is setting the bar really high. Now we have to do it nicely and now with grace. Anybody, how do we fire a prospect with grace? Mr. Homeowner, I appreciate your time. And this house sounds like a lovely house. But unfortunately, I don't feel like it's going to be a very good fit for me. What's that the equivalent of? Hey, I just want to tell you, I need to take some time apart because it's not you, honey. It's me. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Has anybody ever said that to you? Okay.
Yeah, my ex-wife.
Yeah. That's not you. It's not you. It's not you. It's me. Really? Because my ex-wife said it's not me. It's you.
That's what she said. I was trying to save face there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does anybody else have?
Then you got to turn it around and go, you know, I don't think this is going to work, Jessica. So before I go, though,
Yeah.
what are you going to do
Yeah.
about, you know, continuing to pay the mortgage when you have the other house in Florida that you're paying on now, and your kids are trying to start school, your wife's over there, and you're stuck here in San Diego with this house that's just, you know, it's about to fall out of escrow. You know, what are you going to do about that?
Yeah. It's all great. You know, the turnaround.
You just start it all over again.
Yeah. The turnaround.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I appreciate you sharing all this with me. Unfortunately, you know, it's not you, it's me. It's not going to be a good fit for me. But, you know, real quick before I go, if I were to give you that price, though, and we could rent it for 24 months and then give you that price, is that something we could talk about, or is this just completely over?
Okay.
That's kind of what I do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I call that the turnaround. That's a
Okay.
turnaround, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, and great demonstration of it, David. Yeah.
Okay.
I learned that from Uncle Claude. I don't know what he calls it, but I come up with little names for things so I know what I'm, you know, like I refer to it because I was like, I know what I'm talking about now of doing that specific thing. And so I don't, he doesn't call it the turnaround, but I do. But it's kind of a turnaround, you know, like, hey, I'm gonna leave, but no, I'm not, you know.
Take away, start over.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, love you guys. Have a blessed day. Stay safe out there. Thanks for role playing, practicing with me. It's
Thank
been a
you.
great party.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you very
4:20,
much,
so go enjoy the
everybody.
rest of your afternoon, and I'll see you again next time. Stay safe.
Next class.
Take care.
Bye bye. Good to see you. Nice to meet you too. If first time.